Francis Ngannou is just a sore loser. Let's get into this one. Hello, welcome to On Me Edson. Hope you're well. If you like what I do here, don't forget to like and share the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notifications bell for all future videos. So, Francis Ngannou has just recently gone on to the Joe Rogan podcast, and there's a section there where he's talking about, going into the fight with Tyson Fury and then going into the fight with Anthony Joshua. We know what happened. He shocked the world with Tyson Fury, a very under par Tyson Fury. He didn't take him seriously, let's say, and he was a lot better than everybody thought he was going to be, but then he got figured out straight away. He went against Anthony Joshua and he was demolished within a couple of rounds. So the point here is, as soon as he, the next day, let's say, Francis Ngannou started saying, "No, I didn't feel right. There wasn't something wasn't right. I was really tired. I was really flat and everything." And he's gone into a lot more detail now about the way he was made to be waiting around, and the courtesy cars didn't arrive on time, and the schedule kept on being put back on fight night. So there are two things that strike me. First of all, it shows that there's a bit of inexperience here to operate in the boxing arena, where you can easily be delayed a few hours, on a fight card as well. So, that's one thing. And having to wait around, well, maybe Anthony Joshua and his team, they exploited that. But Francis Ngannou and his team were kind of a bit naive to that as well. So, there's a lot of saying, "Oh, I was really tired and everything." We were delayed unnecessarily or whatever, and there's something not quite right here, and conspiracy theories abound and all that. But at the same time, it was the same for Anthony Joshua. All the same time, he managed that better than you did. That's one thing to consider. The other thing to consider is that he, in this podcast, is kind of blaming the organisation, the Riyadh season, Turkey Al-Sheikh, for some shenanigans going on behind the scenes about delaying him and everything like that. Now, the question was put to him, were you kind of doped? Do you think you've eaten something wrong? Do you drank something, something in it? And he's like, "Yeah, I can't prove it. I can't, prove it. Maybe it was just the fatigue, whatever." In his mind, he thinks that there's something wasn't right. Now, absolutely right. It might be that something wasn't right. And there's so many times where athletes, they peak too early or they peak too late or whatever it is, and they're off. And this happens quite a lot. The art of, especially in boxing, but certainly any competitive sport, let's say racing, athletics, whatever, you need to peak at the right time so that you maximize your performance at that given moment. Now, a few hours here and there, we're usually talking about swings of 2 or 3 days or a couple of weeks or whatever it is where you're not quite centered. Whereas he's saying, no, it's about 2 or 3 hours here and there. And I don't buy that. I don't buy that, your fatigue is going to be like that. So perhaps he doped in some way, but he can't prove it. And it's a big claim to say. But also, now you've said it, you've kind of alienated yourself to Riyadh season, Turkey Al-Sheikh, and all the whole organisation, because he's blaming the organisation. Okay, so that's one thing. And I implore you to go and watch this Joe Rogan podcast with Francis Ngannou, the very latest one. The other thing that really struck me was that he was saying that when he fought to Tyson Fury, everybody underestimated him. They didn't think he was a threat, and all these kinds of things. And this is Francis Ngannou. I think he lost once in the MMA early in his career, but he's never lost. He's not used to losing, right? So he goes in with Tyson Fury. He overachieves. He catches Tyson Fury by surprise. And he is very, very bullish, right? And he's on cloud 9. He then gets another fight with Anthony Joshua, which was never on the cards, right? It should never have happened anyway, because Anthony Joshua was supposed to fight Deontay Wilder, but Deontay Wilder, had a bit of a major hiccup against Joseph Parker, of course, and we all remember that. So this is why it kind of opened up for Anthony Joshua against Francis Ngannou. Francis Ngannou went in there very, very buoyant. Anthony Joshua could see how he was fighting, but they also studied him in his MMA stand-up fighting as well. They exploited his weaknesses, and within 2 rounds he was out there. But the interesting thing was, in the very first round, when he got knocked over, Francis Ngannou said, "Yeah, I was hit, and I felt the punch. It hit my glove first, and then it hit me. But it wasn't the punch that put me down. There was something else quite wrong." And I'm just like, hold on a minute. And, you could kind of tell that Joe Rogan was going, "So it wasn't the punch that put you down? Are you sure about that?" You listen to Joe Rogan's podcast quite a lot. And, when he kind of does, when he kind of thinks, "Yeah, you sure about that?" He's not buying it either. He got hit by a very solid right hand by AJ, and he went down, and that's as simple as that. In the second round, he came out and he was clobbered again, and he went down. Good night, Vienna. But he's saying that he couldn't remember anything from getting up off the stool, after the first round. And Joe Rogan was saying, well, this concussion, go back, your memory lapse. He said, well, no. To me, he's not buying it. He doesn't understand what's happened to him. And even to this day, he still doesn't buy it. He still can't get into his mind, can't accept the loss to Anthony Joshua in the manner in which it happened. He feels because he was UFC heavyweight champion, he went in with Tyson Fury, he was given an opportunity that no other person has ever been given to fight for a world title against Tyson Fury, and everything was on the line, and he almost won, right? And very much under par Tyson Fury, but take nothing away from Francis Ngannou. But he wasn't a threat. He says he wasn't a threat, or that they thought he wasn't a threat. When he went into Anthony Joshua fight, then all of a sudden there was a lot of expectation that they were all prepared, right? So he's never known defeat. And whilst he lost to Tyson Fury, it was more of a victory. It was more of a moral victory. So he's very much on cloud nine. He goes in against Anthony Joshua, and AJ does the business on him like we all thought Tyson Fury should have done. And now we see AJ do it and think, well, that's what should have happened. That's what happens when you get into a boxing ring with somebody who knows what they're doing, who's at that level, world title level. It doesn't matter where you're coming from, it doesn't matter how hard you are, you're never going to match them. No way. And he can't understand that. He can't understand that. He's got this whole MMA career. He's got this whole fight with Tyson Fury. He gets in with AJ, and it's that. Now, you could say I'm a bit of a hater. I'm not. Absolutely not a hater. But what I don't get is how somebody can be quite dismissive of the result, and also kind of really blaming the way he was feeling and everything else. It's almost like he just can't accept it. And, for me, he probably needs to have a wider conversation here. And, what's the future now for Francis Ngannou with the Riyadh season take a shake, especially after, he's basically accused them of, well, shady tactics. That's pretty much what he said. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. But, for me, Francis Ngannou just needs to accept that defeat, and he needs to accept the level that he was actually at, and he's not a world title. I've said it before. He was very, very fortunate to get the first shot with Tyson Fury. This is purely on name recognition only. This is purely on a gimmick fight, as it were. That's all it was. He was extremely lucky to get the second fight against AJ again. But, they tried to build it up as something, but it wasn't. It was never going to be, because AJ is just so much of a class above. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you like what I do here, don't forget to like and share the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notifications bell for future videos. And I will catch you again in another video coming very soon. Right, I need to go and have a shower. Ta-da.